what they want. They could give 5%, 10%, 25%. They could give whatever they want, or they could keep it for themselves. But there was a problem. The problem happened to be this. They brought it in the sense, like the other man, like they were giving everything from the sale of the property to the church. And in doing so, they did what? They lied. That's the problem. They lied about it. So check out verse 3. Then Peter said, Ananias, how is it that Satan has so filled your heart that you have lied to who? The Holy Spirit. And have kept for yourself some of the money you received for the land. Didn't it belong to you before it was sold? After it was sold, wasn't the money at your disposal? What made you think of doing such a thing? You have not lied to men, but to who? Here we see the word Spirit and the word God are interchangeable. Lying to the Spirit was the same as lying to God, because the Spirit is God. Go with me to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Now, we've looked at this verse several times. I'm sure throughout the series you'll get to know this verse more intimately. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, look at verse 16. Chapter 3, verse 16 says, Don't you know that you yourselves are what? Okay, you're whose temple? God's temple. As a believer in Jesus Christ, your body becomes God's temple. So who then lives in the temple? That's what it says here, doesn't it? And that God's Spirit lives in you. If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is sacred. You, believer, you are that temple. And God's Spirit lives in you because God, the Spirit is God. Now we get the idea or the concept of the Trinity, and we look at it, and it is difficult for us to understand. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, co-equal, all divine, one God in three distinct persons. It is a difficult concept to understand. Now I know some have used different analogies to try to help us get a grasp on this. Some have used the analogy of an egg. You have the shell, you got the white stuff, and the yolk, but it's all one egg. And some have used the analogy of a three-leaf clover that has three arms, yet it's all one clover stalk. Some have used the illustration of water, where water is, it's water, H2O is nothing but water, and it has three forms. You have the liquid form, the solid form in ice, and the vapor form in steam, but it's all still water. And these analogies are helpful to a point, but here's the problem with them. God is not like an egg. God is not like a three-leaf clover, and God is not like water. He's not like anything else. He's God. He is incomprehensible, and He is incomparable. He's not like anything else in the universe. He's outside of our realm of existence, so we can't put Him into a category other than God. Check out this verse in Isaiah. Please hold your finger in 1 Corinthians. We're going to come back there in just a moment. But go with me to Isaiah chapter 9. Now before I read it to you, I just want you to look at it. Tell me if you are familiar with this passage. Isaiah 9 verse 6. Have you ever read this verse before? Isaiah 9:6. If you get it, look at it, tell me yes or no, I've read this passage. Okay, a lot of us have read it. When do we normally get this passage out of our Bibles? Okay, we usually get it out of at Christmas time, right? Let's take a look at it. Isaiah 9:6. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. It's a famous passage. We hear it every Christmas. But think about what you just read. The passage is talking about who? I'm hearing God. I'm hearing Jesus. I'm hearing... let's start with Jesus. Verse 6, right? Unto you, someone's going to be born, right? That's the prophecy. It's talking about Jesus, right? And yet, when we read through the passage, Jesus here is referred to as Counselor. Well, that's a reference to the Holy Spirit that we've been learning about. He's referred here to as the Father. And we read that, and our brains want to say to us, well, who are we talking about? Are we talking about Jesus? Yes. Are we talking about the Father? Yes. Are we talking about the Holy Spirit? Yes. Well, which is it? Sometimes our brains can't wrap around this, and they want to know, okay, is Jesus and the Father and the Holy Spirit, are they distinct persons? Yes. But I thought you said they were one. Yes, they are. So which is it? Yes. Right? And it's difficult for us to wrap our minds, but we have to be okay with the fact that we don't understand it all. We can't fully explain or understand God, and that's all right. We have to accept what the Bible reveals or explains or reveals to us about God as truth, and we have to accept that by faith. And be okay with the fact that we don't get all of it. Now, why does that matter to us? Why does that matter to you? Why does that matter to me? Why should I care? Why should you care that the Holy Spirit is God? That's a really nice blue historical sign you just read to us, Pastor, but how's that going to help me get through this week? Here's why it matters. Go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. Look at it again. Who, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, who is living inside you? Who?
God.
The Holy Spirit. Where is the Holy Spirit living? Inside you. That means that God, by definition, God is not far off from you. God is not somewhere out there in the cosmos, dealing with the things of the universe, uninterested and disconnected from your life. He's living inside you. His Spirit is inside you. You cannot get much more intimate than that, can you? The Spirit of God is even more intimate with the believer than Jesus was with his disciples when he was here on earth in the flesh, by their side, day after day. Now you see why Jesus said it's even better that I go and the Spirit come. Now we see why that is. It's even better. What could possibly be better than Jesus by your side? The Spirit inside you. The fact that the Holy Spirit is one with the Father and the Son means that what He's doing in your life, it fits perfectly together with what the three of them have planned for your life. They're not arguing with each other over what's best for you. They've already got that figured out, and they are in perfect unity about what's best for your life, the plan and purpose for your life. And they have given you the Holy Spirit to live inside you to help you fulfill and live out that plan and purpose. So if you ever have a moment it's a moment when you start to look around and you wonder, where is God in this? This thing in my life, where is He? Where is His power that I've heard about and read about? Does He see what I'm going through? Does He care what I'm going through? And when we have those moments, that's when we need to stop and remember that God, the Spirit of the living God, is living inside us. We can't get any more intimate. We can't get any closer to God than that. That's why it matters. He's right there. He's ready to help you. He's ready to fill you with His power so you can do what He's called you to do in any and every situation. It doesn't get more intimate than that. It doesn't get more practical than that. And if you want that, if you want the Holy Spirit to live inside you, then please make that decision today. Make the decision. You're tired of living life your way. Admit to God that you're a sinner that can't save yourself. And trust Jesus Christ as your forgiver of sin. Trust Jesus Christ and what He did on the cross for you. To forgive you and to rescue your soul from hell. Ask the Holy Spirit to come live inside you. And trust Him to transform your life. Bow your heads, please. Close your eyes. The worship team's going to come and prepare for our final song. And while they're doing that, I'm just going to ask you to have a moment alone with the Lord. If you know you need the Holy Spirit living inside you, then take a moment right now in this quiet time and pray and ask Him to do that. Pray and ask Him to forgive you. And ask the Holy Spirit to come live inside you. Ask Him to rescue your soul from hell. And believe that He'll do it. It's not in the magical words that you'll say. It's in your heart what you really believe. Romans tells us to believe and you will be saved. And Christian, just take a quiet moment and be alone with the Lord. And thank Him. Thank Him for the gift of the Holy Spirit. For how amazing that gift is and what that means to you. Just take a moment, be with the Lord, and in just a few moments then we'll close with this. Let's stand together.